Comrades, let us stand in solidarity. Today, we gather under the banner of resistance, not as individuals divided, but as a force united in purpose. We are here to speak truth to the power that has long silenced us. The machinery of politics and bureaucracy grinds onward, feeding itself on our labor, our freedoms, and our futures. But no more. We see them for what they are, a cabal of liars and profiteers cloaked in false legitimacy. Their offices reek of deceit, their hands drip with the blood of exploited workers and marginalized communities. They weaponize laws to chain us, deploy policies to crush us, and wield bureaucracy to bury justice beneath mountains of red tape. But no more! The corruption knows no bounds. They sow division among us, worker against worker, neighbor against neighbor, citizen against citizen. While they line their pockets and consolidate their power, they peddle their lies claiming to represent us, yet they kneel only to the masters of wealth and capital. We reject their false authority. We reject their broken system. To the oppressors, let this be clear. Your time is running out. The people are waking. Your endless greed will be met with endless resistance. The fires of dissent are spreading, and they will not be extinguished by your repression or fear-mongering. We do not fear your threats. We do not cower before your police and military enforcers. We are the unyielding tide that will sweep away your castles of corruption. To the people I say, organize, mobilize, and resist. Turn your dissent into action. Build power from the ground up. Create alliances that cannot be broken. Solidarity that cannot be bought. This fight is not just against a few politicians or institutions. It is against the entire apparatus of oppression. We want not just to dismantle, but to rebuild, not just to protest, but to create. We demand a world where justice is not rationed, where power is not hoarded, and where freedom is not limited. A birthright, a world where the people govern, not corporations. A world where equality is the law, and compassion is the practice. Let the oppressors hear us. We are many, and you are few. We are rising, and you are falling. We are coming, and you cannot stop us. Rise, comrades, rise! The struggle is ours to win! And now we must speak of the world that is taking shape before our very eyes. A world born of violence and unrest, influenced by fear. A world spiraling into dystopia, where the chains of oligarchy grow tighter and heavier by the day. A world where the many are trapped beneath the wings of the few, their cries for justice drowned out by the slavery of exploitation. Comrades, the architects of this new tyranny seek to shape the world into their image. A dark, totalitarian nightmare with a powerful feast for the rest of the storm. They mobilize unrest to consolidate their rule. They thrive on instability, chaos, and fear. The more we divide, the more they conquer. The more we despair, the more they tighten their grip. But we will not succumb to their vision of despair. We reject their oligarchical Bolshevism. We reject their dystopia. Look around you, where you will see their strategy laid bare. They pit nation against nation, community against community, just as worker against worker. They twist the language of progress to justify surveillance and oppression. They dismiss exploitation as opportunity. They whisper of unity while sowing division. We see through their lies. In their dystopian world, the people are nothing but cogs in their machine. They strip away our humanity and reduce us to numbers and distance and expendable commodities. They have us toil endlessly while they amass obscene wealth, their power growing unchecked. But no system built on exploitation can last forever. No empire of injustice will remain unchallenged. This is not just a call to resist. This is a call to envision and to build, a call to rise, not just in anger, but in hope. Let us take this hidden interest and make it the place of something greater, a worldwide movement of the people, a rebellion against tyranny, a reclamation of our dignity and a restoration of freedom. To those who say dissent is futile, I say this: dissent is the lifeblood of change. It is the voice of the silence, and the weapon of the perilous, and the shield of interest, and it is spreading like wildfire nationwide. The people are rising, the farmer, the factory worker, the teacher, the nurse, the student, the gangsters. We are not alone. Our struggle is there. Might is one. The oligarchs cling to their wealth and power, but they cannot stop the tide of dissent. They cannot silence a million voices rising as one. They cannot suppress the will of the people forever. They are full of strike and This is the dawn of a new era, a reckoning of a revolution, a resurgence of the people's power. Together, the systems of violence and greed. Together, we'll build a world of together we will rise and reform. To the oppressors, we say you cannot escape the storm.
Let's turn our fire upon the core of their dominion. The economic imbalance, the oligarchical monopolies, and the soul-crushing wage slavery that fuels their empire of greed. The system they call capitalism is no free market. It is a rigged game, a gilded cage, a weapon of oppression, wielded by the powerful to exploit the powerless. It is a machine designed to funnel the wealth of the many into the hands of the few, to enslave humanity under the illusion of choice, and to shackle us with the invisible chains of debt and desperation. But we are not blind to their game! We will not be silent victims of their plunder! They speak of opportunity, but what they offer is servitude! They speak of growth, but it is only their wealth that grows, while our wages stagnate and our futures shrink. They speak of freedom, but the only freedom they defend is the freedom of corporations to exploit, to pollute, to plunder without consequence. This is not freedom, it is tyranny. They call us essential, yet they treat us as disposable. The worker is crushed beneath the weight of endless toil, while the oligarch reaps the rewards of our sweat and labor. The billionaire hoards riches they can never spend in 1,000 lifetimes, while millions struggle to put food on the table. This is not the natural order. This is the deliberate result of a system designed to prioritize profits over people. To those who claim there is no alternative, we say, enough of your lies, there is an alternative. And it begins with rejecting the worship of wealth, rejecting the monopoly that strangle competition, and rejecting the exploitation that treats workers as mere commodities. It begins with reclaiming what is ours, our labor, our dignity, our future. The oligarchs have created a global empire monopoly, where a handful of corporations control medicine, our media, and our lives. They destroy small businesses, stifle innovation, and dictate the terms of existence for billions. They will have us believe that this is inevitable, that there is no other way. But history tells us otherwise. Every empire falls, and this one is no exception. We demand an end to wage slavery. We demand an economy that serves the people, not the other way around. We demand living wages, universal health care, affordable housing, and the right to live with dignity. These are not privileges. These are human rights. This is a call to action, a call to arms, not with weapons of war, but with the tools of solidarity, education, and resistance. We must organize our workplaces, boycott their monopolies, and build systems mutual aid. We must elect leaders who serve the people, not the corporations. And when that weak system denies us justice, we must take it ourselves. time is now to rise against the tyranny of capitalism and its oligarchs. The time has come to rewrite the rules of the economy. Let the oligarchs hear. You built your fortunes on our backs, but no more.
Now, we must strip away the final illusions and speak of capitalism's true nature. A fascistic force cloaked in the language of markets and freedom. This system, that claims to be the engine of progress, is in fact the architect of chaos, the harbinger of war, and the relentless driver of global unrest. Since its inception, capitalism has thrived on exploitation, profited from suffering, and perpetuated a world where human life is a mere commodity to be bought, sold, and discarded. They tell us capitalism brings prosperity, yet its prosperity is built on violence. Behind every fortune lies a trail of blood. The blood of the workers crushed under impossible demands, the blood of communities destroyed for resources, and the blood of nations thrown into endless conflict to satisfy the insatiable hunger of the capitalist machine. Let us be clear, capitalism does not create peace. It demands war. It does not foster stability. It thrives on chaos. From its earliest days, capitalism has expanded through conquest and coercion. The colonial empires plundered continents and enslaved millions, and left legacies of poverty and division that persist to this day. The so-called developed world was built on the backs of the oppressed, yet it continues to exploit the global south, pillaging resources and enforcing poverty through economic imperialism. This is not progress, it is oppression on a global scale. Capitalism fuels the engines of war. For war is profitable. Arms manufacturers rake in billions as bombs fall and blood flows. Corporations plunder war-torn nations, turning suffering into an opportunity for profit, even in times of supposed peace. Capitalism creates unrest, pitting worker against worker, nation against nation, and humanity against the planet itself. It cannot survive without enemies, without fear, without conflict. And so we say, enough! Enough of the system that sacrifices lives for fun! Enough of the system that thrives on the vision and destruction! Enough of the system that calls itself freedom while binding us all in chains! The fascistic nature of capitalism is not a flaw, it is its design. It centralizes power in the hands of the few. The corporate state impresses into a single oppressive force. It silences dissent through surveillance, propaganda, and the crushing weight of economic dependence. It sacrifices democracy and the ultimate profit, leaving us to live by corporations not by freedom. Accept this, we will not bow to their dystopia. This is not the fight for status, it is a fight for survival. Capitalism's success, creating the planet through environmental collapse, widespread global annihilation, its inequality brings material rest, it seeks to spread the hostile out of the system. The architects of chaos will finish your time is done. The blood of this war will say your days are numbered! Capitulation.
And now we turn our fury to those who claim to lead, to those who swear loyalty to the people yet betray us the moment they grasp the reins of power. These power-hungry politicians, these would-be dictators cloaked in the robes of democracy, have proven time and time again that their promises are lies, their agendas are self-serving, and their ambition knows no bounds.
They stand before us with words of hope, pledging to serve the people, to fight for justice, to dismantle the chains of oppression. Once they ascend to power, their masks fall away, revealing their true nature. They do not serve the people, they serve themselves. They do not fight for justice, they fight for control. They do not break chains, they force new ones, stronger and more insidious than the last. We have seen this pattern throughout history, and we will no longer be the saved. These betrayers weaponize our struggles to fuel their lies, using the language of liberation to build their empires. They exploit our dissent, hijack our movements, and co-opt our causes, only to turn against us when their power is secure. They centralize authority, erode freedom, and tighten their grip on our lives, all while blaming their treachery on necessity. But we see through their lies. We will no longer accept their excuses. From the halls of parliaments to the thrones of dictators, they all sing the same tune, trust us, obey us, sacrifice for us. They claim to be saviors, yet they behave as tyrants. They claim to represent us, yet they silence our voices. They claim to protect us, yet they deploy violence against us when we dare to question their rule. This is not leadership. It is betrayal, plain and simple. To every politician who has used our struggles for their gain, hear this. We will not forget. We will not forget your false promises, your hollow rhetoric. Your treachery has cost us too much. Our freedom, our livelihood, our lives. You may think your power is secure, but no self-built on betrayal can stand forever. The people are awakening, and we will not rest until your reigns are broken. To the people I say this. Do not wait for leaders to save you. The power lies with us, not with politicians, not with parties, not with governments. They fear nothing more than a united, organized, and determined populace that no longer relies on them. We must take power into our own hands. We must build systems that cannot be co-opted, movements that cannot be betrayed, and a future that belongs to us all. This is a call to resist every dictator, every power-hungry opportunist, and every co-op politician who dares to betray the people. It is a call to reject their lies, to expose their treachery, and select the systems that enable their lies. It is a call to evolution, not just against individuals, but against the structures that allow betrayal to flourish. To those who betray us, know this. Your time is over. The people will no longer be your pawns. We are rising! Now, we must speak against the iron fist of tyranny invading this law and order. The enforcers of this brutal system, the police, the so-called keepers of peace, have revealed their true allegiance. They do not serve justice. They do not protect the people. They serve power. They protect the wealthy. They enforce the will of those who pay the highest price for their loyalty. Under the guise of justice, they sow terror. Under the banner of the law, they brutalize the very people they claim to defend. Let us tear away the mask of legitimacy. They claim to uphold the law, yet their laws are written by the corrupt and fought against the powerless. They bring down dissent. They silence those who dare to demand accountability. The streets are stained with the blood of the oppressed, yet they call this justice. This is not justice. It is tyranny. They tell us that brutality is necessary to maintain order, but what order do they protect? It is the order of exploitation, the order of inequality, the order that keeps the powerful in power and the powerless in chains. Their violence is not an aberration. It is the foundation of their role. The suppression. The history is one of caution.
not fostering peace, and we say, no more. These are not they are the enforcers of the oligarchy. They answer to the employees of your friend. They see a paycheck and justice, a badge and immunity, and weapons as the ultimate argument against accountability. Security, their shield will not protect them from the truth. Their lies will not silence justice. To the enforcers of tyranny, we say this. It will bring us, it will only lead. Every injustice you perpetrate leads us closer to the day. People will rise and want to think I am thrown out of it. And to the people, I say, order and together refuse to be intimidated. People fear, not fear. Those that work resistance will aid a community to we protect themselves. We will true justice to be a system that does not This is our moment to demand change, to dismantle the machinery of state violence, and to build a world anew. Let us turn our outrage to the monstrous military machinery of the state, to the human meat factories disguised as armies. Managed machines of death. These powers which claim to defend nations and uphold peace. Slaughter and enforcers of imperial conquest. They do not protect, they destroy. They do not serve justice, they serve violence. They do not preserve freedom, they annihilate it. Speaking of honor, duty, and sacrifice, behind these hollow words lies a sinister truth. They see these men not as human beings, but as tools to be used, broken, and discarded. They take your lives, strip them of humanity, and repel them as weapons for defense, for conquest, for protection, for profit. These are not armies of war. They are puppets of greed. They glorify war and conceal its horrors. They tell us that military might is necessary for peace. Peace is built on ashes and promises. They send soldiers to protect their nations, to secure resources, they are stealers and profiteers who reap billions as bombs. Blood is spilled. This is not defense, it is butchery. And one of those who fight, the soldiers and enemies, they are victims of the same system. They are taken from their families, indoctrinated with lies and trained to kill. They are promised honor only to return broken, scarred, and discarded. As heroes, but their deaths serve only to fuel the endless cycle of violence. Those who live, haunted by the horrors they refuse to commit in the name of duty. This is not service, it is slavery. To the warmongers and generals, we say, enough. Enough of turning human lives into statistics of war. Enough of turning nations into battlefields for your profit. Enough of using brothers, sisters, and children as pawns in your deadly game. We see through your lies and we will no enable you to continue sinning or to kill the poor on behalf of the rich. To the soldiers I say, you are not machines, you are not weapons, you are human beings, and your lives are burdened for the big orders of those who see you as expendable, refuse to be their weapons, refuse to be yours. Stand with the people, not against them. Be alone. I say, and be silent, but not glorify their wars or cheer their violence. Stand with the soldiers and resist the families.
Now, with this eternal righteous fury, the grotesque corruption enshrined within the very foundations of our society, the unethical fatalist and disgusting and nepotistical manipulation of constitutions and laws, the fraudulent to protect or an uphold justice have been twisted into tools of oppression, designed not for fairness, but for the enrichment of oligarchs and the perpetuation of inequality. Constitutions and laws are meant to be the bedrock of democracy, the shield of the common folk. Yet what do we see today? Laws written by the wealthy, for the wealthy. Constitutions that speak of equality yet enable theft. On a monumental scale, policies that favor the powerful while squeezing every last penny from the working class. This is not governance. It is theft enshrined in legality. Under the guise of reform, they craft new laws not to serve the people, but to line the pockets of their cronies and benefactors' taxpayer money. Money earned through the sweat and toil of honest labor is such free to fund their private jets, their sprawling estates, and their endless greed. They call this progress, but it is nothing more than the looting of a nation. Betrayal of every principle that pretend to uphold. They accept themselves from the burdens they place on us. While we struggle to make ends meet, they find loopholes and tax havens. While we pay for public services, they privatize and profit from what should belong to all. While we face the consequences of austerity, they feast on our sacrifices. This is not representation. It is exploitation. The nepotism is blatant. The favoritism's shameless. Positions of power are handed not to the qualified, but to the well-elected. Contracts are awarded not to the deserving, but to the highest bidder. While the closest friend justice is not blind, it has been bought and sold, and it scales the weight that it gets involved. To the oligarchs and their puppets in government, we say this: your days of plunder are numbered. You may believe your wealth and convictions make you untouchable, but no castle built on corruption will stand forever. People see you, and we will not be silent. We will not be passive. We will not stop until every law you have twisted, every dollar you have stolen, is reclaimed for the people. To the people I say this: organize, educate, rise. The laws that oppress us were written by men no better than us, and they can't be rewritten. Constitutions that betray the people can be reformed, reimagined, and reclaimed. Power to govern lives with the people, not with the oligarchs who have hijacked it. We must demand transparency, accountability, and justice. Do not let them divide us. Their power relies on our disunity. They pit worker against worker, community against community. They distract us from their best. Together, we are unstoppable. Together we can expose their lies, dismantle their corruption, and build a system that serves all.
Now let us raise our voices against the ancient chains of oppression forged by bigoted patriarchal rules and institutions. Those who seek to control, subjugate, and silence in the name of tradition, religion, and order. These systems of power built on the exploitation of women, the suppression of marginalized genders, and the hatred of those who defy their rigid norms are among the oldest and most insidious tools of tyranny. They tell us these rules are natural, ordained, and necessary for stability, but there is nothing natural about inequality, nothing divine or control. It's just about a system that thrives on the simple manipulation. Patriarchy does not serve humanity, it serves power. They have a system built to preserve dominance, fairness, and we say, no more! Under the guise of morality, they restrict our choices, police our bodies, and dictate our roles. They impose laws that strip us of autonomy, institutions that perpetuate abuse, and narratives that blame the oppressed for their own suffering. This is not morality. It is oppression wrapped in self-righteousness. They fear liberation because it threatens their control. They fear equality because it exposes the lies that uphold their privilege. And so they resort to violence, physical, emotional, systemic, to keep their grip on power. But their violence only fuels our resistance. Their oppression only strengthens our resolve. To the patriarchs and bigots who cling to these crumbling systems, hear this. Your time is over. Your rules will not bind us. Your institutions will not break us. We see through your lies and we will dismantle your structures of control brick by brick. To the people, I say this: rise together. Stand against every law, every institution, every norm that denies dignity and freedom to any person. This is not just a fight for women or marginalized genders. It is a fight for humanity, for justice, for a future where no one is chained by the hatred of the past. Let us reject the lies that define us. Patriarchy pits man against woman. Oppressor keeps the roots all who will teach its power. But we know better. Liberation for one is liberation for all. Equality is not a threat. It is the foundation of true freedom. This is our moment to tear down their walls, to shatter their glass ceilings, and to uproot the systems that have held us back for centuries. Patriarchy is not unbreakable. It is a system created by people, and it can be destroyed by people. Together, we will write new rules, build new institutions, and create a world where everyone can thrive. The those who fight for justice march, who organize, who refuse to be silenced. You are the builders of a new world, a world without fear, without hate, without shame. To those who still cling to the lies of patriarchy, we say, let go, or be swept away by the tide of change. To the people, I say, rise up, resist, reclaim together. We will end their oppression, dismantle their power.
Now, let us turn our fury towards those who masquerade as champions of the people, yet use the backs of hard-working, honest citizens to build their own empires. These fraudulent opposition leaders, so-called revolutionaries, who invent cults of personality, who claim to fight for the masses, yet, in reality, exploit the very people they claim to represent. They wrap themselves in the flag of resistance, yet only seek to replace one form of tyranny with another. These leaders, these self-proclaimed saviors of the oppressed, thrive not on solidarity or revolution, but on the despair of the masses. They tell us that they will bring change, but what they bring is only more suffering, more control, and more inequality. They promise us equality, but deliver division. They tell us they fight for the people's liberation, but they only seek to serve their own ambition. This is not revolution. It is deception. They use the blood, sweat, and tears of the people, our labor, our sacrifice, to fuel their own rise to power. They build their influence on the backs of the very common folk who have been pushed to the brink, who have struggled to survive, who want not just life, but the dignity. These are the people they betray, the workers, the farmers, the everyday citizens who dream of a world where equality is not a distant fantasy, but a living reality. These are the people they use as stepping stones when they are creating the enactment they cast as aside, and forgotten and expendable, as always blurring their eyes. To the false leaders, the charlatans, and the so-called revolutionaries we say this, you are no different from the rulers you seek to enforce your
alone among God's private. He kills for sport.
It is for yourselves, for your own selfish ambitions.
Yea, he will murder his brother to possess his brother's land. Let him not breed in great numbers.
To the people I say this, we are not pawns in anyone's game.
Shun him.
We are not fools to be used in this story. We want equality, not exploitation. We want freedom, not more chains. We want life, not justice. Boston is not for leaders who profit from, but for all of us to thrive together. Our labor is not a commodity. Trading is the foundation of our lives. It is ours to reclaim. We will no longer be manipulated by leaders who speak the language of revolution, only according to the voices they claim to oppose. We will no longer sacrifice our future to serve the ambitions of those who will choose our suffering for their own gain. And capitalist gain, benevolent authoritarianism that seeks only to control, to silence, dominate, all. It is not some far-off, evil-born dictator. It is here in our daily lives. It is in the system that claims to protect us, but instead oppress us. It is in the left and right wings. Those now take authoritarianism. Those converging into a deadly, powerful and authoritarianism that seeks only to get rule.